Hey, what's up? I love Kidmin. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. So glad that you are here. Kidmin, you have made it through the weekend. Hope you had an awesome weekend. I have loved watching some of your Ding Dong Ditched and some of your videos for the weekend that you made. Thank you for sharing those. I think it's great to encourage one another and glean from one another and get ideas. So Kidmin, you did great. You did an awesome job this weekend. Thank you for faithfully serving the Lord. Some of you, a small majority of you, did a comeback Sunday yesterday. Others of you couldn't if you wanted to because of the state that you're in. Wherever you're at, keep up the great work. Keep being faithful to the Lord. We're gonna have a great coffee chat. We had some tech problems on Friday, which I hate. We were not able to go live for our coffee chat. Zoom was having problems. And so we had David Laughlin ready to go. And we tried for like 15 minutes and finally gave up. But David Laughlin is going to be here tomorrow. He's going to try to bring Tisha and his kids on the screen as well tomorrow. We are building a great lineup for the coffee chat this week. So thank you so much for being here. I love Kidmin. I want to read to you today from Romans chapter number 12. Romans chapter number 12. I want to read to you from Romans chapter 12. I know that there are a lot of, you're dealing with a lot of stuff as a leader right now. And you are, some of you are really trying to make some tough decisions with your leadership and your pastor about what's next and when. And the challenge that comes along with that is that there are a million different opinions. There are people that are ready to come back now and think it should have happened last week, right? And there are others that are like, hey, as soon as the green light turns on, we still need to wait several more weeks. It's a tough dynamic, but I want to encourage you with some scripture that actually my wife Beth shared with me this morning, and it was encouragement to me. And I said, Beth, I've got to share this in the coffee chat this morning. Romans 12, I'm going to read it to you right out of my Bible that I keep at my office. Romans 12, verse 9, 10, 11. I think I'll stop with 9, 10, and 11. Although Romans 12 is Romans 12 is one of those chapters of the Bible where it's like you could spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just mulling over the scripture in Romans chapter 12. But Romans 12, verse 9 says, love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. These are 3 good verses. Maybe some of you need to share this with your staff and your leadership team this week, because there is so much division in our country right now. There's division politically. There's division socially. There is division, even within the church, and what should we do moving forward? Let me tell you, the best thing you can do, verse 9, is to love and to sincerely love. If you just choose first and foremost, I'm going to love. I'm going to love first and foremost. Above all else, love first. Love first. Love first. What does Bob Goff say? Love wins, right? Love always wins. And then verse 10 says, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor others above yourself. Now that'll help during times when there are divided opinions, during times when leadership sees it one way and you see it another way, just to honor others above yourself. You know what? I'm just going to choose that you are more important than me. Or maybe not important, maybe that's not the right word, but I'm going to put your needs, your desires above my own. I'm going to honor you I'm going to honor you before I honor myself. And then verse number 12, verse 11, never lacking in zeal, but keeping your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. You need to love, love, love first and foremost. Then you need to honor those around you before yourself, and then don't lose your spiritual zeal. Romans 12:11. You have to keep your spiritual life a priority. And I understand it is a challenge, Kidmin. It's a challenge to keep your spiritual life a priority. I get it. I get it. It's tough. You're trying to balance work and home. You're trying to help your kids finish their school year strong. You've got this ministry thing going. You've got all of these pressures on you and all of these plates you're trying to spin, but do not neglect to keep your spiritual life a priority. There's 3 good verses for you, Kidmin. 3 good verses that Beth shared with me this morning. And as soon as she shared them, I've got to share these verses in the coffee chat. It's as clear as if God spoke to her and said, Ryan, these are the verses. This is what I want you to share with the coffee chat this morning. Romans 12, 9, 10, and 11. One more time for those of you that are just logging in on Facebook. Love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good, be devoted to one another in brotherly love, honor one another above yourselves, never lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Keep it, keep it, keep it. The idea is you've got to protect it. You're not getting this. London, for her birthday last week, got some Apple AirPods. Now, she'd been saving her money up. She'd been working for months. But we decided to contribute a little to the pot and let her get some Apple AirPods. Now, she's been paranoid because her cousin got Apple AirPods for Christmas and lost those Apple AirPods within about 2 weeks. And so she is guarding these things. She is keeping them so close to her. I mean, if she catches wind that her sister's got those Apple AirPods, she is on it because she does not want to lose those Apple AirPods. And so she's keeping them. And she always knows where they're at. And they're always on her possession. And she's making sure that they are safe. And listen, don't forget Romans 12, verse 11. You need to keep your spiritual fervor. Protect it. Guard it. It is so, so important. So important. You don't want to lose your spiritual fervor. Don't lose it. Don't lose it, right? Some of you that have lost it in the past, you understand the cost of losing your spiritual fervor. Kidmin, keep your spiritual fervor this week. Schedule some time with the Lord today. Schedule some time with the Lord this week. Wow, what a great weekend of ministry. I spent time last night, as I do about every day, spent about an hour scrolling through I Love Kidmin, looking at your reports from the day, looking at your videos. Some of you had a challenging day. A lot of you feel like you had a really great day. We had a Super Saturday KidzShow on Saturday. Andy, why don't you jump back on here with me? Big shout out to Andy from our team that helps produce not only the daily coffee chat, but also the Super Saturday KidzShow. Andy, it was a great show.
Yeah, kudos. I loved it. It was really good. I love the theme of it. I love, all of the great contributions from all of our Kidmin people. I love this thing. It's really coming together each week.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of a last minute thing. We kind of push the envelope on our time sometimes, but man, it always comes together. It always comes through, and it's just amazing to see how from point A of, we're going to do this show and here's a theme of it this week, to how each of these things come together and how they connect in different ways. It's just amazing. You just see God's hand in it so much.
Now, Andy, for someone on I Love Kidmin that they're like, what is this? What show are they talking about? Let's not assume everybody knows. Tell us, what is the what is the KidzMatter Super Saturday KidzShow?
Yeah. Well, people of our age group, our maturity level, we got
Now,
to
there's a
grow
big
up.
difference between our age group and our maturity level. Who are you
Well,
talking about?
yeah, fair enough.
Okay,
Fair
all
enough.
right. I get it. I get it. Yep.
We were blessed that we grew up with the good old Saturday morning cartoon experience.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately it's kind of gone away. And another thing that has kind of gone by the wayside is the good old variety show.
Yeah.
And so we just saw this as a great opportunity to just to form and fashion a show directed and dedicated to kids for their spiritual growth, for their their just their ability to learn good Christian principles. And it's just such an honor. I mean, I don't know, I'm just blown away by the ability to do this, just the honor and the privilege of being able to do this. So it kind of grew out of that. And the framework is it's a very fast-paced show, which we know we're dealing with short attention spans in kids these days. You've got to keep their attention. You've got to keep them engaged and watching. And man, we have some great material from our contributors who are bringing in, teaching, and they're bringing in music, and they're bringing in animation, and they're bringing in puppetry, and they're bringing in all these things that just captivate the attention of a child and keep them hooked into that program there. And the main purpose of all of it is just sharing Jesus, sharing biblical principles, helping these kids grow in their faith, or if they haven't come to faith, helping them come to faith and then grow from there. It's the Great Commission played out in video form with fun stuff.
I love it. Now, what are some things, Andy, that you've learned? With Saturday was our third show.
Yeah.
As you have produced the show now that you'll be going on week 4, what are just some things you've learned personally as you produced it, working with these people? What comes to mind when I ask you that question?
Well, first and foremost, I think the first thing is not necessarily something that I've learned, but it's just something that's just been reinforced and reaffirmed so much in my mind. And that is that this Kidmin community is just awesome.
Yeah, they are.
The people that work in this, the people who minister in this, the people who are in leadership or volunteers, whatever capacity, there is just such a vibe and just such a wonderful spirit in the Kidmin community. And I think maybe that's just because we're all, again, coming back to that maturity level thing, we're all just kind of kids at heart in one way or another. So I just a shout out to the Kidmin community.
Well, and I will second you on that. I will give you an amen, a witness. These guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the most amazing people on the face of the earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What a world we would live in if every person in every form of ministry would have the enthusiasm and the drive that most Kidmin people do.
I agree.
We would be in good shape. So just seeing this thing pull together from all of our contributors and things, it's so great just to see people excited and people enthusiastic about being a part of something like this. That's one thing. The second thing that I've learned is there is really, when it comes right down to it, there is nothing more fun than pursuing a God-given vision. God gives you a vision, and sometimes fun is not the word that we use when we talk about ministry. We talk about sacrifice, and we talk about those kind of things. But you know what? Ministry can be fun, and ministry is fun, and it's really fun. It's like following a puzzle sometimes. It's like putting a puzzle together. God's given you all the pieces. Maybe he's given you some pieces. Maybe he's given others other pieces. Maybe he's just given you the box, with the big picture on the front, and you have the macro view. You have the vision for what it's going to look like, as a whole. But he's given other people every pieces of those box in that box to put that puzzle together. And man, to see that come together, it is so fun. It is so gratifying. It reaffirms in my mind how God is just moving every day, just orchestrating things, just putting things in place, putting things together. It blows my mind. And again, it's just such an honor to be a part of that.
And Andy, you know, I'm watching the comments come in as you're talking. I love Wendy said that the kids show really has inspired her online kids worship, just in the variety and the quick clips. And I think that's a good reminder for all of us, even when the kids do come back, you know, that those shorter, keeping things moving, I mean, it really helps. I mean, I think it helps the majority of us adults, but especially kids, with their attention spans, and not just the time frame, but the variety of different stuff.
We have to minister to the culture that we're in, and unfortunately, we're in a culture of fast-paced, instant gratification, short attention spans, get it all, get it quick, kind of stuff. So you really have to keep the flow moving, and keep them guessing as to what's coming up next. So,
why don't you share one more thing, Andy? What else have you learned from this process? Anything else come to mind?
You know, one thing that Ryan, you talk about a lot is the big ask, making the big ask of people. And sometimes the best way to do that is just to go ask them. It doesn't help to put out, you know, sign up sheets and those kind of things. So I've really seen that, yes, absolutely, just ask. And I'm not an asking person. I'm by nature a non-confrontational person. And I've always got this thought in the back of my mind. I don't want to be rejected, or I don't want to make somebody feel like they're being put out or obligated or something. But what I've seen here is God, again, that puzzle thing, he's given those pieces out to other people. And if you don't ask, then you might be robbing someone of the opportunity to put their piece of the puzzle in. And there's nothing greater than when you do ask somebody and they're just, wow, yes, I would love to do that. That would be great. That feels so good to feel that. So be ready to ask, be able to ask, just whatever God's laid on your heart, just ask people, just get them on board. You might be surprised. God's already been working in their life.
That's a good point. Kristen wants to know on Facebook, can we get a graphic invite each week on the KidzMatter page that we can send to our families?
You know what? Absolutely. We'd be happy to put something together. Now, I will say that most Friday afternoons we do post some sort of a graphic in the I Love Kidmin and the Parents Matter Facebook groups. Now, you know that in I Love Kidmin, things aren't shareable out of there, but if you go over to that Parents Matter group, things that we post there are shareable. But yeah, we will definitely look into making that more feasible.
And then, Andy, I'm also thinking about, and this is probably an offline conversation, but if with your new format where we're actually, the first two shows, we actually literally pushed it out live. Saturday, we scheduled them to hit both Facebook groups, which from a technical perspective made it a lot easier on us, took a lot of pressure off. So I'm wondering, for people, just to reach more people, Andy, if we're scheduling them already, if we should schedule this to the KidzMatter YouTube as well. So we could tell people it's on YouTube and Facebook, just for the people that aren't on Facebook, or just to put it out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great possibility. Maybe even as soon as this week, we'll see that YouTube link available. We went away from the live concept because, for one, it just removes one thing that could go wrong in the interface in going live. And the other thing is, it just makes it so good to be, it's on demand. It's available there whenever you want to watch it. Starting this next Saturday, we're going to start posting this at 8 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And so wherever you're at in the country, whatever time zone, whenever it fits into your schedule, you can watch that and you can share that with people around you.
I love it. Love it.
So we're looking forward to that for sure.
Love it. And let's see if we can't pull it together on YouTube as well. Does that sound good?
Oh, sounds great. I mean, let's put this thing everywhere. Let's share it. Let's start watch parties. Because the main thing is that we get this message out. We get this, all of these great bits of teaching and things. It's just, so important. Kids need this so much.
Exactly. Andy, thank you. Keep up the great work. I Love Kidmin. Thank you for your support of the Super Saturday Kids Show. I wanted you to get an update from Andy because we just again, wrapped up our third show. This is something a lot of fun that we're doing now for kids and families. And Facebook, thank you for telling me that you have been watching. Some of you, this is new. Hey, Lisa Wood. Yeah, more families can watch it on their TVs with YouTube. I agree. I think we're going to start pushing it out on YouTube as well, because it seems like everybody has the YouTube app on their phones. So we'll push it out. I'll work with Andy and see what we need to do to get it pushed out on Facebook as well each Saturday morning. What's up, Catherine Wagner? Zach Vogel, my cousin. What's up, Zach? Jeremy Young is here. It's good to see y'all with us. Steve Pennington. Hi, Steve. Steve's one of the most creative guys you'll ever meet. Steve, good to see you. Jennifer King, Amber Pike. Good morning, Amber Pike. Lisa Wood, Julie Workman, Elise Wendell. So glad to see y'all with us. If you have a question for me, I want you to text it to 833-792-6372. Don't call that. It's not a phone. I mean, it's not a phone number that people are going to answer. That's just a dedicated text line. I don't even know if you call them dedicated text line. I don't know what would happen actually if you called that number. I've never tried to call it. All I know is we use it to text. So text 833-792-6372 if you have a question for me. We've got a great lineup tomorrow in the coffee chat. You're going to hear from David Laughlin. David was supposed to be with us Friday, but we had some tech problems. And David and I were talking to each other on Zoom like this, but we could not get Facebook to connect on multiple computers, multiple browsers, but it got fixed later in the afternoon. So David's going to be here tomorrow. Kurt Broadbeck is going to be with me on Friday. Kurt is a children's pastor, and he is at a large multi-site church in the Indianapolis area, one of the fastest growing churches in Indiana. And God has really given him a big vision for something. And I want him to share it because some of you might want to jump in on this. It's a free thing that you're going to be able to do with your kids this summer. Kurt reached out to me last week. We jumped on Zoom and had talked on Zoom, the two of us, about 30 minutes on Friday. I'm super excited about what Kurt's doing. So you're going to hear from Kurt on Friday this week. And so thank you for joining me on the coffee chats. Boy, we had a wonderful Mega-Con online that wrapped up early last week. And we could not do what we do with Mega-Con online and our Mega-Con on-site conference without the work of our event director, Trish Weeks. Trish is an amazing, dear soul. Hey, what's up, Trish?
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Wonderful. I keep trying to get Trish and her family to move to Marion, Indiana, so we can just hang out together every
Yeah, that'd
day.
be awesome. Texas is really big if you want to join us here too.
That's the problem. You're just not ready to leave Texas, are you?
No, not.
That's all right. Trish is one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet. She loves everybody she comes in contact with. Trish, you and I first met through Kidmin Academy.
That's right.
Which class were you part of?
The third class.
Class number
three. Mm-hmm.
Class number 3. Looking back, do you remember what was your favorite month or topic or faculty member in Kidmin Academy that year? Or do you think it's
lots of favorites, but I think the one that was the most productive for me was the one on worship. Because I actually got my worship team to watch it with me. So we met up together and I got them copies of the book and we read the book together. And so there was an older lady, an adult who was leading it, but there was also a teenager. And so I had both of them come in together and we just kind of worked through that whole module together and it was really awesome.
Love it. Love it. Well, we have been blessed to have Trish on our team for the last, when did we celebrate a year?
Well, I volunteered at in 2017. So 2018 I ran Volunteer HQ at
That's
Mega-Con.
right.
Yeah. And then came on after that.
That's right. Okay.
So
So Trish does a lot of you that are with me on Facebook, because I scroll through the names, you volunteer at Mega-Con or you're an ambassador at Mega-Con. So, Trish really does a lot of the behind the scenes work at Mega-Con. A lot of times it's easy for the people like myself on stage to get the credit. What a great Mega-Con. And I'm thankful. And it is a team effort, but Trish works all year on Mega-Con and Mega-Con Online. You'd be amazed how much work is involved. And Trish, you do a wonderful job.
thank you.
We had a wonderful Mega-Con Online, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
9
It
days.
was really very different. And I think people weren't sure what to expect, but the response was fantastic. People really liked the format. They liked it being longer days or shorter time periods in the day, but over 9 days. And then they could log on each day. And it was only about 45 minutes a day that they needed to commit to. And we had great speakers. We had great ministry partners that help put it together and sponsored different days. So it was very good. We had about 3,000 people that signed up, which is pretty big in our Kidmin community. Yep. And they had opportunity to get a free book. And so it was just really, really great. Yeah.
Trish, what are some things? I know you are a children's pastor. You love children's ministry. Of course, you're spending a lot of your days anymore helping us with Mega-Con and Mega-Con Online, and all the pieces, all the moving parts that go along with that. You're an active part of the I Love Kidmin Facebook group. What are some things that you have learned personally, professionally, as a ministry leader in your own spiritual life during this pandemic, that might be an encouragement to some people tuned in this morning?
Yeah, I was listening to you before I logged in, and then I was hearing you talk about fervor and hearing Andy talk about all the different things that the community is, all the different ideas. And this is kind of what a summary of it, I think, for me is that we can see that this virus affects everyone. It affects globally, it has some effect, but individually it affects us all differently. Like, I don't think either I've not been exposed or I don't have any symptoms. Some people haven't had symptoms, but maybe they are a carrier. Whatever it is, everyone's just a little bit different. And I think comparing that to what God does spiritually, it's the same thing. Like, there's an overall thing that God is trying to do, or that God is doing in the midst of this pandemic. And overall, globally, it can look one way, but it's something very specific, I think, for each of us. I think even in the I Love Kidmin page, with all the fantastic ideas, I think sometimes that can feel just a little bit overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, they're doing this and they're doing this, and I'm still not doing enough, or people aren't engaging. And I think what I want to say to the community really is that just listen and ask God specifically what he wants you to do. And those ideas, they're all great, but just be yourself. And don't necessarily, don't try to copy what someone else is doing, because it's just a copy. I think getting ideas and working together is fantastic. I mean, that's what this community is all about. And I've gotten tons of ideas and shared ideas, but you really have to just ask God, like, what do you want me to do? In the Great Awakenings and in different kinds of revivals, we see people, or maybe they would start something and it was fantastic for that time, but it was for that time. And maybe it was like a bus ministry, and you're like, well, that'd be great. So you go try to start a bus ministry, or God has someone starting even like the Saturday show with you. And so someone thinks, oh, I should start a Saturday show because Saturday show is what it's all about. But that's not what it's all about. It's because it doesn't work for everyone. Because I think if we just pray and ask him, he'll tell you very specifically what's going to work best for you and for your ministry and for your family. And don't be afraid to try new things. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, try something else, because there's tons of ideas and God's so creative.
I love that. I think what you said there about just be you. Last week, Mike and Amy Bates were on the coffee chat. They're children's pastors, great people. And she was like, honestly, the first several weeks, I felt so defeated because I was seeing what everybody else was doing. And it wasn't us, but I felt like this is what I had to do. And I finally came to grips with the fact that, we just need to be us. And we need to do our weekly Zoom or live stream, and we'll do that. But where we really excel as kids pastors is one-on-one. So they started scheduling one-on-one Zoom calls with kids, and they're doing it. She texted me a picture the other day of her in a costume because one of her kids wanted to do a costume party. So the kid dressed up, she dressed up, and for 15 minutes, they had a little Zoom costume party, the two of them. And she was like, I just finally got to that point, what you just said, that just be you, be you. And
have fun, because there is no more fun job in the world than being a kids pastor. It is, there is just so much joy, even if you're feeling like kind of like a bad day or, and just for example, the blessing song that has been going around, it's in different cities joining together, whatever, Simon's version with all the kids all over the world.
Isn't that awesome?
That just tops them all. So there's just something really specific and very special about leading kids ministry.
I love it.
So enjoy it and be you.
Yeah, enjoy it and be you. And by the way, if you haven't, I posted it yesterday on I Love Kidmin. Simon Perry probably did as well. You find it on his YouTube. If you YouTube All Stars Kids Club, The Blessing, he told me last week he was going to work on this, where he got kids from literally all around the world. We had our girls wanted to jump in. So our two youngest are in it. Kids from all around the world singing that blessing song, which isn't that an awesome song, Trish?
It is. There's nothing better than singing scripture.
There's not.
That's just the best way. And we know that's the best way kids learn. Those kids that are singing that, like your girls learning that scripture is forever in their heart. So there's just nothing better.
Forever. All right, Trish, give one last final word of blessing or encouragement to these Kidmin leaders, and I'll let you go. What's one last thing you're going to share with them?
One last thing that I want to share. I used all my great stuff. I just would say,
because what you
leverage.
Said
I think just some words that God has given me, and I kind of had written them down, was adapt, expand, accelerate, and leverage. I think those 4 things are really key to getting us through this season and into our next season, because this is just the beginning.
So adapt, expand,
accelerate, and leverage.
I love it. Trish Weeks, thank you for all you do to serve the Kidmin community. Keep up the great work. Super excited to have you on our team. Love you all.
Thanks. Hey, don't forget to sign up for Mega-Con.
Yeah, so tell us how to do that and tell us what's coming up.
So that could probably be a whole other chat, because there is a lot. Because if you haven't seen the emails come through or you haven't seen it posted yet, Mega-Con 2020 is expanding to be something never done before. We haven't even envisioned it all yet. We're still working out all the different details of it. So be patient with us, but we can promise you that it is going to be fantastic. So I'll try to go back and drop, or maybe Andy can drop the link to the Mega-Con website to purchase their tickets.
Love
because it's going to be free, but if you have a ticket, you're going to get extra special benefits and little things in the mail and fun. So
it's going to be fun.
Right.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
You too. Mark Campbell's here. What's up, Mark? Ryan Benson. Uncle Charlie is here. The blessing is so awesome. Simon Perry is a genius. And I will agree with you on that, Uncle Charlie. Simon Perry is a genius. Hey, Jennifer Abercrombie is here. Jeremy Young is here. Ryan Frank is here. I know that guy. He's a really nice guy. Jennifer Miller is here. Several years back, I was speaking at Children's Pastors Conference, and I met 2 young children's pastors, a husband-wife team. And I had, we just kind of struck up a friendship. I was acquainted with the McLennans on through social media, but we had never really met in person. And we were able to meet at Mega-Con, or not Mega-Con, but Children's Pastors Conference, and struck up a friendship. And we've had them here to visit, although it's been a while. What's up, John? How are you?
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Doing good.
Good. I was just going to say, it's been a while since you've been to Marion, Indiana.
It's been too long for sure.
It has been. What's the deal?
Yeah, I don't know. Man.
I know you guys have been dying to get back up here, huh?
I said stuck in Florida, so.
Suffering in Florida.
Yep.
Now, when we first met, you weren't in Florida.
Correct. We were in Texas, in Houston
Texas.
at that
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. But I feel like maybe I'm off. Did you or Crystal, were you in Indiana for a while?
Crystal was, yeah. When my wife Crystal and her first children's ministry position was in Crawfordsville, Indiana.
That's right.
For 3 years. Yep.
I forgot about that till right now as I'm talking. Yeah. Which isn't too far.
Yeah, so she was there, and then she went to Tulsa, and that's where we met. She was a kids pastor in Tulsa, and I was a youth pastor in Missouri, and our parents knew each other years back, and then they reconnected and kind of played matchmaker, and it worked. And
the rest is history. So have you been married how many years now?
A little over 13 years.
13 years. We're getting old, Brother John.
I know.
Getting old. No, we're not. No, we're not. Now, John, you are so creative. If John is a great contributor to the I Love Kidmin Facebook group, you do so many creative things. One thing that you do that that intimidates the heck out of so many kids pastors is you do ventriloquism.
That I do, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, when I was a kid, both my wife and I, as children in different churches, were involved with puppet ministry, and I loved that. Of course, when I was young, I was extremely shy, so I liked being behind a curtain and controlling a puppet. So, loved puppetry, and then that's where I got into illusions and all that. But kind of long story short, we were kids pastors at a church in Houston for 8 years, and during that time, and then we've been in Florida for 3 years. We were Iowa before Texas, but kind of funny story. I've always been intrigued by ventriloquism, but I was always too shy. And so when we were in Texas, this was probably about from now, maybe about 8 or 9 years ago from present, my wife decided she was asked to do a women's comedy event. And so she's like, I don't know where she got the idea. She was like, I'm going to try ventriloquism. So I bought her a little traditional dummy figure, and I was helping her learn, and she quickly learned she did not like it very much. It wasn't her thing, but I was having a blast with it. So she's like, I think you should try it. So kind of long story short, I kind of got into it. I ordered special ordered a puppet, a baby character that was my first character, and taught myself ventriloquism in a mirror, and did that for a while. I'd do it for real short, 30 seconds, a minute with the kids in church. And that was about it. But then, a little bit into that, my wife finally was like, you need to figure out if you want to keep doing this and get better or just stop, So she said, I found a ventriloquist conference that meets every summer in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to go to that and figure out if you like it or not. So, so she really pushed me. So I went to this conference, and all the big name ventriloquists are there. It's a very small community. Okay. So I went to that. They have different sessions. They do, kind of. Is
it like a Christian ventriloquism or like ventriloquism?
Just ventriloquism. Many there are Christians. It's a secular conference.
Gotcha.
But total, worldwide, people from all over the world come, and there's maybe 400 people there. So it's very small. But I just fell in love. I just got so inspired. So I really started pushing, hard about maybe 6-7 years ago, and learning all I can, developing the art, the comedy, and then go to the conference every year. And then recently started coaching with Gary Owen, who is Darcy Lynn's coach, road manager. So started coaching with her, and it's really just, opened a lot of doors, just even outside of children's ministry. So do all kinds of camps and then family events. And since being in Florida, our senior pastor loves it. So he has me come to the adult service every so often. And then that's opened up to pastor and missionary dinners and all kinds of stuff. So it's been kind of fun journey. Yeah.
How did you get, John, I think one thing that we all deal with, whether you're children's tree or anything, is especially I think in KidMin, you decide, I'm going to try something new. It's out of your comfort zone. You're a nervous wreck. You're scared sick. Even though it's the same group of kids that think you walk on the moon, you still get so scared. How did you overcome that fear to where now you can get in front of those kids with confidence?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, and I tell the kids and a lot of audiences I speak to, I kind of give them my story, how I was very shy. And now, I can be comfortable getting up and speaking to thousands of people. It doesn't really bother me a whole lot, but ventriloquism is the scariest thing that I do in front of people. And especially even now in this time, doing it online is like, even I'll be by myself with a camera and I'm freaked out.
Are you really? Are you just as nervous doing it by yourself in front of the camera? Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary, cause then it's out on the virtual world forever, so people can zoom in, whatever. So it's kind of scary, but I've just kind of years ago developed just a mentality of like, I feel like this is something that God gifted me with and I'm working hard at it. And it's for me, it's ministry. So I'm just going to do it whether I'm scared or not. And I encourage kids with that too. Like, I do this scared, so you can do it, so I don't let it stop me. I do try to keep improving. And to an extent, I do get more comfortable. But you still get the butterflies and the nerves and the mouth kind of like drying out, that always hits me. So I want to use my gift, and it's going to be scary, but I just have tried to learn how to do it. And my wife has been a big help too. So, cause she'll push me of like, no, you can do it. Come on. You're doing great, whatever. So, I
love it. Well, you're doing a great job. I love watching your video clips and stuff that you put online from time to time. John, shifting gears, you're a children's pastor. How have you found these last several weeks? What have you been doing that you feel like is effective right now? Twofold question. One, connecting with the kids and staying connected to the kids, and then your volunteers.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's definitely been a big learning curve for us, but good. We've been really wanting to figure out how to connect more with people online before we went into this season.
Yeah.
So it's been good, and what we're going to continue after we get out of this. But few things, just we are trying to figure out ways. I love the children's ministry community and everything that you guys are doing with I Love KidMin and KidzMatter. Just, it's a really good community to learn and see what other people are doing, and they share so much. And I love this community. But so we're just trying within our online services, we're trying to figure out how can we get more engagement, getting them to respond to different things. But then just really that personal connection, just trying as much. So we've been doing a lot of phone calls. And the kids, calling the parents, and the families are so excited. And if the kids hear, oh, is that Pastor John? Then they go crazy. So we're doing phone calls, and we've been calling everybody.
Nice.
And then postcards were a huge hit. Actually, we sent out, we handwritten, I haven't handwritten in so long, and doing hundreds of postcards, but
that's a lot of work on your hands, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I had to take a little break every so often, stretch it out, But the postcards and just that handwritten note we've gotten a lot of great feedback. I actually even had a couple of kids that started writing back, thanks for the postcard and writing out little cards and all that kind of stuff. So, that was just real special. But all of them came and said, thank you so much for your postcard. And we love all the online stuff. And but those postcards have been a huge kind of connector point.
Well, kids love to get stuff in the mail, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They really do. What about with your volunteers, John? How are you trying to stay connected to your volunteers?
Yeah, same thing. Just trying to send some postcards. We're thinking of you. Definitely the phone calls. Just checking in regularly with them, praying for them.
Yeah.
Another thing that's been that they've gotten very excited about is we've called a lot of our volunteers and asked them to send in a little 5 to 10 second greeting video to the kids. And then we're putting that on our social media so the kids get to see their leaders, not just hearing from the pastoral staff, but they're seeing all the volunteer leaders they know well and love. But then it's really, the volunteers have really loved that too, feeling like, wow, I get to help connect with the kids. And so that's one element that's been huge with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Love it. So what's comeback looking for you guys down in Florida?
Yeah, well, still don't know a time frame right now. Just kind of watching what other churches in the country around our size are doing that are kind of phasing in, with initial talks. It just looks like kind of like everybody else, just phasing into just large group settings with the whole family, and then, trying to engage kids within the
Are you
family
thinking it's going to be
service.
June, July?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I mean, my guess would be June. But we're kind of taking it a week at a time, and there's no date set. We are trying a drive-in service this Sunday night. Still doing all of our online services, but then Sunday night just doing a 1 hour drive-in, and our pastor is going to be up on a big lift of some sort. So
okay, fun.
So yeah, but I mean, hopefully soon we'll get to start getting into it. So. Our Dream Center has been doing food drives, and we have a Dream Center downtown Lakeland, Florida. Traditionally serves a lot of the homeless and people that are lower income, struggling with different things. And but there's been a big increase in food distribution with that, groceries.
Cool.
But service wide, hopefully soon, hopefully June, we'll be able to start doing something to some extent of meeting, but we'll see. So some parts of Florida have been hit pretty hard. So I think the opening will be, in the state will look different in different parts. So.
Well, John, thank you. One thing about John and Crystal McLennan, they walk with the Lord. They know John, would you just pray a blessing over all these kids pastors that are part of this community, those that are with us live watching, and then the hundreds that'll watch this video throughout the day. Just pray God's blessing over them and whatever God lays on your heart. Would you do that?
I sure will. Thanks. God, we just thank you for your goodness. I thank you for, God, your wisdom and your guidance, your hand of protection. God, you knew in advance that this was coming. It caught us by surprise, but it didn't catch you by surprise. And Lord, I thank you that you are with us, that you never leave us. And I pray for all my friends, God, that you just continue to protect their families, that you continue to provide for them. I know some churches are dealing with financial struggles and layoffs. And God, I just thank you that you are our provider. So God, I just thank you for providing every need that my friends have and their families and keeping them safe, Lord. And I also thank you that, Lord, you knew this was coming, and God, you have put us in these places of ministry and leadership, and you had us there at the right time. And so God, I thank you that even though we might be dealing with a lot of like unknown and kind of struggling if we're doing the right thing, God, you have us here and you have a calling on our lives, Lord, and you are the one that's going to lead us and guide us. And so I thank you for strength, for wisdom. I thank you for peace. And Lord, just guiding us into some new things, Lord. And I thank you that maybe there's some new things on the horizon that have never been done before, or impact in ministry, Lord, that's never been attained, Lord God, that now in this new season, God, that maybe you'll teach us some new things and we'll try some new things that can be really effective for your kingdom. And so we just thank you for that. God, we give you all the praise for that. And thank you for Ryan and his team and everything they're doing to support us and to provide resources for us and continue to bless them and their families. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. John, thank you so much. Love you, brother. Tell Crystal. Send Crystal our love. All right.
I sure will. Thanks, man.
Thank you, brother. Yep. All right, Kidmin. Hey, before we wrap up today's coffee chat, let me just do a quick housekeeping item. I'm going to try to share my screen. Today is the deadline to register for Kidmin Academy. We're doing something really, really special right now where you see on the green banner at the top, you pay what you can for tuition. Because of this pandemic, you literally, I'm not going to call your pastor. I'm not going to ask you to see your last pay stub. I'm not going to ask you to see your 2019 tax return. I'm just going to totally trust you. If you can afford $20 a month, or you can afford to pay the whole tuition, I'd love to have you join us. Classes start this week. Kidmin Academy is a great way to join me every week and others, where you will, at the end of the year, you will earn a diploma in children's ministry, as you see on the screen. Okay, so there are 12 core modules. You complete the requirements of the year. It's about a 2 or 3 hour a week time commitment. That's all. You can earn a diploma from Kidmin Academy. The website, kidminacademy.com. We've got a great faculty with some amazing thought leaders and influencers: Dr. Sam Chan, Jessica Beeler, Beth Guckenberger, Tina Hauser, Yancey, others that you see on the screen. Every month, we deal with a different topic in children's ministry leadership, church parent partnership, special needs worship, digital ministry, volunteers, curriculum, preteen ministry, all kinds of great stuff. The website is kidminacademy.com. Enrollment ends today, and the website will reset. Our next class will not be until November, at which point you will need to pay a full tuition of either $19.99 a year or $199 a month. We've given away 2,300 diplomas, 2,300 and some diplomas over the last 5 years. We'd love to have you consider Kidmin Academy. Go check out kidminacademy.com. Today's the deadline to get registered. Kidmin, I love y'all. Thank you for joining me for today's coffee chat. If you have something you want to talk about tomorrow, text me, 833-792-6372. Until tomorrow, be blessed and keep up the great work.